Hello, ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you are. A blessed and a good evening to you. My name is Arnold Joma, and welcome to another episode of the show. Thank you so much if you're a new subscriber here. Thank you so much if you're a returning subscriber. You're the reasons why you're here today. The other week, we did a video about investment on the youth, and we talked about money. I got a lot of questions from people asking me, hey Arnold, I've got 2,000, 1,000, I need to do something. I need to start up investing. And then I said, let me make a general video for everybody, because if I keep answering everybody, it will really take a lot of time. With that effect, I had to look for someone, a business coach. Our guest for today is none other than this beautiful lady with me here. I'll give her a chance at least to talk to us and introduce herself. Karibu.
Thank you. My name is Hildah and I'm a business coach, as he said, with ICF, International Coaching Federation. I'm on the scaling level.
Okay.
Yes.
So what do you do?
I'm a student. I'm a human resource student. I've been one since 2015.
Yeah.
Yes, so that means that HR is really a part of me. Apart from that, I'm a faith blogger at Faith Family Journey. And apart from that, what else do I do? That's much of what I do. I'm also a writer and a poet.
Wow, that's good. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today we are having Hildah, a business coach, just to take us through some of the things that we as young people, as youths in this generation, we need to start up doing something. And that's why we are here today with Hildah. Let's give some drum rolls for her. Yeah. Now, Hildah, I don't know, somebody is watching us right now and is asking themselves what really is startup.
Well, basically, a startup is a business that is just on its starting phase, rather starting level, and it can be a product or a service.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, it's just a business that it's on its first phase.
The first phase of a business.
Yes.
So if we are doing, when we were doing entrepreneurship, they used to tell us, if starting from you can venture from from a business that has grown, and then you move on with your work. Is that also part of startup? Because is it a new phase or?
Yeah, it's still a new phase, because at that stage you haven't scaled to greater heights of maybe launching into something else. You just still trying to find out whether you could get the next step or not.
Okay. Now, are there the industries that, as we are setting up a business, I know majority, everybody is asking me, which business do I start? Mm-hmm. Now, is there this business, the industries that we, yeah? Well,
there's a diverse, there are different industries that anybody can start, or rather you can decide to feature your business in. We have the education industry, we have e-commerce, we have cryptocurrency,
yeah.
We have health, yeah. We have energy and environment. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we have IT actually.
IT. Yes. So are there just general example you can give us in these industries, mm-hmm. the things that we can start?
For example, in IT, you can decide to start a cyber. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and actually one of the things that I always tell people is that make sure you have a passion for it. Okay. In all this industry, if you have a passion in health stuff, then start something in that lane. That could be a pharmacy or something, or start a clinic, or start you can decide to do a clinic or something else, but in relation to that. Or you can start a consultancy. Okay. Yeah, and maybe on the side of education, you can decide to do online tutoring. Mm-hmm. And then on what else? On environment, you can decide to do saving of the environment, like plastics, recycling, mm-hmm. and all that.
Okay. Are there is it just a general, when you're talking about startups, is it just general, or we have various types of startups, we can say?
In startup, it's like a general term, but under these startups, there are different types of startups that you could do.
Yes.
And there are quite a number of them, but I think for today we just handle a few of them.
We can have at least maybe 5.
Okay. One of them that is the most common one, or that most youth started with, is a small business. And a small business, like an example of a small business could be like, can start selling jewelry to your friends. Like the people, I know one of my friends who does that, who sells jewelry, and I know it's still a small business because she just sells it to her friends. And then we have scalable. We have scalable startups. Scalable startups are those startups that are started from the scratch, like you start from the very start. And at that very point, you have an aim of like shooting to the next level. Let me say, for example, if you are doing, if you're doing tumba, you can decide to now do a big boutique or start importing or exporting. Yeah. So, and then those are two, that is scalable and social. We have social startups. Social startups are mostly, or rather mainly, for raising funds. Like, for example, the people who are just like doing business, they're just fundraisers. So if you have something that you want to start, let me say, for example, if you have we have like a pad drive that people say maybe they're going to visit a children's home or a girl's place, and they want to do maybe warm clothes, blankets, or offer sanitary towels. You can decide, if you are the owner of that organization and you don't know how to source for funds, you can decide to link up with me because I'm a fundraiser, and that's my business. So what I do is source out people and bring them on board and be able to raise. So for me, that's my business.
It's business. You're still learning from the misfortune of others.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the fourth one, we have offshoots.
Yes.
Offshoots, like just from the very word itself, it's like shooting off from something else. Like how we have.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you about.
Yes. You're branching out from something else. So these are businesses that are mostly branch out from big businesses, like big companies. So you find out either a group of people from that company or even an individual branches out and starts something either on the same line or differently. But it's still like, it's an independent one at this point.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we have viable.
Viable.
Yes.
What about viable?
I know, so viable is startups that it's like you decide, let me say, for example, like the tea company. I can decide, for example, I come up with a certain flavor. And then I build it up, and then with the aim of selling it off to a bigger brand. Like, for example, what we have Fahari, we have Ketepa. So with my flavor that I've started, I can decide, with this, I'm starting it out, not with an aim of keeping it as my own business, but with an aim of selling it out to a bigger, to the big man in the industry.
That's a viable.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a viable startup.
I think we've learned some part of types of startups. Basically the 5, if you can remember 1 or 2 of them, it's a good one. Now, the major problem we have with the youths, and most of the youths that I was talking to after we did the first show on investment, a lot of the youths came through and were asking me, yeah, Arnold, you have told us about investment, but I need you to tell me where I'm going to get the money. How am I going to fund for I have an idea. Everybody has an idea. When you talk about business ideas, everybody, and actually I was getting people telling me, Arnold, you should have called me on that show so that I can tell people how to do. Now, are there ways in which we can source for funds as youths, in a way that we can access for funds for various startups?
Wow, there are funds, and there are quite a number of ways. And one of the ways that personally I love and recommend to the youth is the incubation and acceleration type of funding. This is a type of funding whereby you get into mentorship programs where you are trained. And why I prefer this most is that you can have an idea. And if you just throw yourself out there with that idea, you might not get exactly what you want. But if you go through a training of how to go through with that business, it's much more better. And after that, you also get mentorship, meaning you get somebody who can walk alongside you as you're walking through this journey that you started off of a business. And there are quite a number of them. We have like Chandaria. We have Chandaria Business and Innovation Center, which helps, it's like incubates these young business people or entrepreneurs, trains them, and later on you get funding. If your pitching is good, if they can't buy your idea, you're good.
We are talking to people, and I think some of them will ask me at the end of the talk, what do you mean by when you say pitching?
Pitching is basically presenting your idea or your business before an investor. Like, for example, if I want to start, if I use an online tutoring, that will be a bit complicated. Let me say, if I want to start a jewelry store, and you are the investor, I need to come to you and present my business plan or my business idea in a way that you will find it's like my idea is worth investing in. So that's basically what pitching is.
Okay.
Yes.
Another way we can source for funds?
Another way could be through, we have government funds, like the Youth Fund. And there are actually, you can decide to partner up as a group or something, like a group of people, like 5, 2, 3, or you can decide to go in as an individual. You're individual, like with your own business. And as a group, basically, it's if you're starting something that is bigger or beyond what you think you cannot handle as an individual. And I think a number of us or a number of youth are never really ready to go through the procedures of applying for a fund, especially the government funds. We often have this negative attitude of, I want to get it, I won't do it. But we have stories of people who have done that, like going through the government funds and benefited from them. Yeah.
Okay. So the best funding?
For me, there are quite other ways, and another could be like microfinance. And microfinance, I keep laughing whenever this microfinance crosses my mind, because we've had these places that when there's always this advert of Faulu and America, and often when you're watching the telly, you're just like, that's advert. And then you mute. Yes, this is the place. They're always explaining how you can access those funds and all that. So we have the likes of Faulu. It's big. It's almost everywhere. So it's one of the places that you can go and get funds. We have Imarika. And apart from that, we also have bank loans. You can decide to apply for a loan. We have cooperative bank that is also offering loans for small businesses or big, as long as you feel that your idea is good, that you can take a loan for it. You must value or see the need for your business for you to take a loan for it. And we also have a difference in rates between microfinance and bank loans. They can be tricky. Just make sure you check them out. Be sure of what you're ready to play with. If it's the bank loans, you're ready to go for it. If you prefer the microfinance, go for them. We also have like friends and family. This is quite a tricky one, though it's the most basic one. You're always like, man, I want to start a business. I need 5K. Then you go to another friend of yours, you say, I need 10K. I'll get it back to you. But it's the most tricky. One thing I always say is, of course we say that it's just friends, it's just family, there is that thought or idea that there won't be much needed or expenses or a push. But I always say, if I'm taking up a loan from you, or if you agree that I need 5K or I need 10K to start out my business, let's have a written agreement. I know most people don't do that. We'll say, he's just my brother, it's just my cousin, it's just my mom, it's just my aunt, but always have a written agreement, because this is one of the things that always ends up bringing issues in families and friendships. We've had actually cases in social media. See somebody placing up, there's this friend of mine who borrowed cash from me. When it comes to time for them to return, they blocked me, they did this and that. So always have a written agreement. If you can go further to having like an advocate or a chief, like stamping that, please go to that mile.
Okay.
I keep insisting, have a written agreement, whether it's from your father, as long as you have, sometimes we take loans even like from our parents, and a parent expects, because you're taking it as a loan, you'll be able to pay back. But most of us grow up with the notion that they're my parents, they won't be hard, they won't push further. We have stories in the States where the parents sue the kids, or the kids suing the parents because they took a loan and they didn't pay up. So I always say, if you're starting out, especially if you want a funding through family and friends, just always have a written agreement.
Wow.
Always.
Wow.
It will save a lot of misunderstandings and breaking of friendships and family ties. Yeah.
Sile niokole. Niokole nataka 5K urgently, nitarudisha Monday.
It's quite tricky. I keep, of course, often I think that's why I always say it's really important to have a business mind. Whether you are, it doesn't matter whichever field you're working in. When you have the business mind, when you have the thought, when you know the business dynamics, when you know everything to do with it, you won't consider these small things of people borrowing cash unless you're borrowing the cash for personal use and not like business stuff. Investing in business, that's a big thing. It's a big thing. So if you're looking at, unless they're helping you out with no expectation of refund, if it's that, then that's good. But if there's an expectation of refund, I insist, always have a written agreement.
Yeah. Thank you so much. The key is starting small. Every now, you start small, and then from a scale, you can be able to grow your business. Most youths do not want to start small. Somebody wants to start a business, $500,000. He wants to start a business with so much expectation. But the key is to start small, and then from there you can be able to scale it up. Now, that's just one of the challenges that we face as we are dealing with startups. Are there like general challenges that we can learn from when we are now starting up? We need to know like these are the challenges that we expect in this field that maybe cuts through various industries.
One, I would start with funding.
Yes.
When you're talking about funding, sometimes it's tricky to get a funding that is not compromising your product value.
Yes.
Like, for example, if you want to start making shoes and you decide, it depends with how much you really want. But maybe this funding that you're getting, you might have to lower the quality of your product. So let me say, for example, if you want to start like honey business, and then you want refined one, that means you have to go for a greater funding. But then if you get a lower funding, that means you'll have to compromise on that. It won't be refined. You get? And then maybe let me say, for example, like we have the honey sticks. Like, for example, if in your packaging, you can have that as one of your packaging. But if your funding is not good enough, you may not be able to do that. Yeah, and also on the branding, it also compromise on that. So that's actually one of the things that I think most people have a challenge with, like being able to get funds without compromising the value of your product. And another thing would be, trust me, the market is tricky. It's growing every day. Every day. So you have to be open-minded. Be ready for what's coming. Do not say, man, I've already gone through this training. I have a mentor. I'm good to go. There's nothing that I want. It comes that time when you really have to be open. Be ready that the challenges that might come, I hope that I'll be ready for this. Like, always be prepared with that. And sometimes you can think your product or your service is market fit, but then the industry keeps growing. The market keeps growing, the economy keeps growing, people keep improving their products, they keep rebranding and reskilling, and doing all these things. So if you are not open to making sure that your eye is constantly on the market. Sometimes we are so focused on the business that we're not checking the market. Yeah, your product or your service can be market fit this week, but then next week things have changed. So you have to constantly, so one of the challenges that most people don't know that you have to keep, it's the challenge of a constant change in the market, like competitive market. So if your product is not fit, trust me, even if you had 10 customers last week, by next week you might have 1 or 2. Yeah. And another challenge is also always coming up with an idea. Because sometimes you're looking around, now in my village, now what could be the biggest thing? Like coming up with that idea that somebody can invest in. It's also a big thing. Because by the time, let me say, for example, if you go through the incubation or wherever that you want as one of the ways that somebody can invest in your... Oh, by the way, another ways of getting funding is through competitions. Like, for example, we had cooperative bank having competition. They were ready to fund some businesses, but then there was something like a competition. That means you have to. Well, it was an online application kind of thing, so you make sure you are fit for that. Or another way we have there was this program that was called Vijana Reloaded that was once part of, and then it mostly did that. It would call up like youths around or youths from universities around, and then say that we have this offer for the best business. So you try find out some of the competitions that people have around, especially those that are doing business. Yeah, we also have Future Females, which is really, really great. It's an online program which I've once been part of, and I benefited a lot from it, because with that they equip you like extensively. It helps you even to know how to get your business online. Because, a number of times we feel we must have a physical thing or a physical place for us to be able to do that. Like you have products, but you're thinking, I need a store, I need a place where I can, display my stuff. But the world is going digital. So you have to be ready to know how to get your product or your service online. So what Future Females does is equip you with all this knowledge of how to get your business started, blah, 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 and all that, and how to launch it online and how to sustain it online. Because you can have your business online and it's not growing, it's not hitting the online market. So it also does that. I keep saying, go for those programs. They help. And there's nothing as good or as sweet as being able to invest. Actually, that's one of the ways of investing in your own business, because you're getting skills and knowledge of how to run the business itself. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for that wonderful session we've just had. I think today we have learned a lot. Like, we are not limited. We are not limited to the physical space. We are not limited to our locality. We can also do business. We can still earn money from wherever we are. Yeah, we can do, cryptocurrency or something.
Yeah, actually that's what is going on right now. The NFTs, the EFTs. Yeah.
we can earn. You can earn from wherever you are. There's no reason for anyone to keep behind. Everybody needs to start something. You need to start something to do. There are quite a number. There's quite a long list of things you can do. You can do farming. You can do online. You can do writing. You can do anything that you're skilled with. Yeah, I don't think at this century and the way we're going, everybody is able to at least move on and do something a little bit. Start from somewhere, and then from there we can be able to scale it up. Thank you so much for having us up to this far. Maybe just a last word you can share with us.
Wow, I kept saying, equip yourself, invest in yourself. It's really, really important. Actually, I think this is coming up from what you mentioned earlier on the previous episode you had on investing. And people keep, when we think about investing, we're always like money-minded. There are different ways of investing, and one of the ways is investing in yourself. Mm-hmm. You give yourself with knowledge. You don't really have to go to school. Just read stuff online. Yes. Read about them. Equip yourself with knowledge. Equip yourself with skills. We have a number of videos online on YouTube that teach people on how to do different things. If you want to start food, like selling food, if you want to start a restaurant, a cafe, go learn that. If you don't know how to make coffee, I mean, there's so many videos on YouTube that show people how to make coffee. So one thing I always say, invest in yourself. Invest in yourself through knowledge, skills. It really, especially in terms of business, getting the knowledge and the skills is quite a thing. And also network. Network does not mean you have to go to every event that is everywhere. Mm-hmm. Networking can also be through online. Just reach out to people. You don't really have to, contact them, slide into their DMs and do all that kind of stuff. I'm so-and-so, I'm just starting on the business. How can you help me? No. Just if they are business people, go through their profiles. Look at what they're doing. If they have reels on IG, go through them. Know what they're doing. That is part of networking. You're getting to know them. Mm-hmm. And if you also have what you've already started, or if you can, if you have these events that you can go to them. A number of youth don't want to pay for events. We have some paid events. A number of us don't want to pay for them. But once you pay for those events that you're going to learn something from, you feel good. You're like, that's one of the ways of investing in yourself. So in networking, it's also another way of investing in yourself and in your business, because you're also still getting knowledge and all that. Yeah. And we kept saying, people say, follow your passion. There's more to passion when it comes to business. Yeah. Passion sometimes cannot sustain your business. Mm-hmm. It takes more than that. Mm-hmm. Like, passion alone cannot sustain it. But it's good to follow your passion. Mm-hmm. Like, if you want to start a business, let me say, for example, like for me, mm-hmm. now that I do writing and do blogging, like one of the things that I also do is I do freelance editing and writing for different faith e-magazines. Mm-hmm. So that is one of the ways that you can decide to, because I'm interested in, I have a passion in writing. Mm-hmm. So I can decide to, this is one of the ways that I can become the business. Mm-hmm. So I write, I apply to different people, e-magazines. If that's what I'm mostly interested in, I can decide to do that. Mm-hmm. So that is my passion is writing. Mm-hmm. But me writing for other people and being paid for that's the business. Oh. So my passion is still in that. Mm-hmm. If you have a passion in beauty and all that, you can decide to do cosmetics. Yeah. All that. So, but I always insist, in passion, there's always more to that. Mm-hmm. It does not end at being passionate about something. Invest in your passion.
Thank you. Wow. That's been amazing time we've had here. I think we have learned one or two. Thank you so much for keeping it. Thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you so much, Wesonga Talks, for always being there with us. Another appreciation to Bram Edits, jamaa wa calligraphy pale. Na special thanks to Arnold Studios for hosting us and being part of us. And also thank you, DJ Mike, from wherever you are. We thank you so much for being part of this wonderful team. Another thing, we appreciate Nyumbani Creatives. Nyumbani Creatives ama Nyumbani? Yeah? Nyumbani Urbans. Thank you so much, Nyumbani Urbans. Thank you so much, Nyumbani Urbans, for blessing us with a wonderful piece of art here. If you're looking for arts like these ones, If you're looking for such wonderful arts, Nyumbani Urbans, Mega Center, Kitale, mezzanine floor. And if you're looking for quality pictures, Mega Center, mezzanine floor, and our studios. Thank you so much. It's been our time. Until next time, comments, tell us what you want us to discuss about. And a special thank you to our guest today, Hilda.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for sharing with us. It's been quite an honor. At least we can all agree that truly this is a business coach. Thank you. Until next time. Bye bye. Remember to subscribe and like the video. Kwaherini.